The Business of Cleaning, the podcast that brings cleaning industry expertise straight to your ears. We interview professionals from all over to bring our listeners knowledge of how to achieve success within their business. Season 1 is about change management and enabling you to both face and create change in all aspects of your company. We're talking management, HR, suppliers, and more. Let's sweep right into the episode. Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Business of Cleaning. My name is Haley Morris. I'm your podcast coordinator and host, as always. And with me today, I have Kathy Riley. And I'm going to go ahead and let Kathy Riley introduce herself and tell us about her company as we roll into our topic for today. So if you don't mind.
Hello, Haley. Thank you for inviting me. I am with Professional Maintenance in Lubbock, Texas. The land of the Raiders, Texas Tech Red Raiders is probably what everybody knows, middle of nowhere. The professional maintenance have been in the janitorial cleaning for 25 years over here in the dust land, but we are going to talk today about the strategy of cleaning and the way things have changed, and hopefully help and maybe lead people into what we have seen. COVID has changed everybody, I believe, and everybody's way of thinking. And hopefully, I think everybody has different ways of doing things now than we did a few months ago. We have definitely looked at a lot of different ways to help our people. Discouragement, I think, would be one of the big words we could use that some of our people have had through these last few months. I think we have to have strong leaders, and we have to make strong leaders out of our supervisors in order to make this next few months and this next year work strongly. We have come across with our clients, what they're really wanting is they want more work. And don't they always want more work for less money? I mean, that's just what they want. Give me more work, less money. What we have really found is we're trying to put into work is work smarter, not to make our people work harder, but to work smarter, use that different scope of work. And what I mean by that is we're really trying to train our people to see dirt more efficiently. Everybody says, how do you do that? What do you mean by that? Well, I think we do it in an everyday process. We just don't notice we do it. But if you can teach them, we clean door. As you walk by, you see the door panels on the bottom of a door. And if you notice that they're dirty and you wipe them then, rather than wiping them on every one that's every Tuesday, or do door panels on Tuesdays, or do door panels on Wednesday, if we wipe them as we go, you keep that in a clean structure, and it's not something you have to come back and have a once a month meeting over that you got dirty door panels. Same thing for your areas of your window sills. Don't do window sills on Tuesdays and Thursdays, do them every day. We're trying to teach our team to wipe as you go, see dirt and wipe it, but be smart. We want to be more efficient in our cleaning, wipe it as you go. Do the high touch areas. Those are more important now than they've ever been. And so as you're going through a building, look at those high touch areas, wipe the light switches, wipe the doorknobs, wipe the sink handles and the toilet handles and the thing people touch more than you ever have. We've got to be smarter. And to be smarter, we're going to have to train our supervisors. Training is probably the most important thing you have to do right now than you've ever had to do. It's always been important, but I think now is the most important time because you've got the COVID there that you're trying to make it a healthy environment, which I think we've always cleaned for health. I know we have. I know we've always cleaned for health in our own way, but now it's more important than ever. And I don't think you can do that lightly because people are looking for it, but you've also got a job to do. It's labor, it's money and it's time. And so going into this, you've got to look at the areas that we see, that people can actually see. we had a customer the other day, and I know everybody has these kind of customers, but as long as I've been in this business, Haley, I very seldom have ever had anybody ask me to I can do a job in 2 hours. I mean, I know I can do probably 4,000 square feet in 2 hours. Okay. That's not too hard to do. And I've never had someone ask me to do that job I can do in 2 hours in 4 hours. Right? Have you? I mean, would you think about if you knew I could do a job in 2 hours, would you ask me to do it in 4 hours? But I had
No.
a customer I know that's ridiculous. But believe it or not, I had a customer the other day, and my shame on me for not listening better. This customer wanted that 2 hour job done in 4 hours, but I wasn't listening. She wanted the plant wiped down. She wanted the magazines wiped down. She wanted the chair's legs wiped down. She wanted the arms wiped down. She wanted the cords moved around and wiped under. She wanted detail cleaning, detail every room. Well, I told her, since I've been in business, I've had very, 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 very few people, count on one hand, ask me for detail cleaning, because all that means is labor. Detail cleaning is labor. Most people want us to come in, wipe the high point places down, dust what we dust, sweep what we see, mop what we see, and vacuum and leave. In other words, clean and go. That's what they ask a janitorial house to do, because it's money. It's always money. And so that's what we were doing. And unfortunately, she wanted detail cleaning, and we missed the point, what she wanted. And of course, that's twice as much as she's gonna. I mean, anytime you pay someone to come in there and pick up everything they're moving and sweep under everything they're moving, that's twice the work, which is fine. But not understanding what she wanted was a complete lack of me listening to what she wanted. So that there again, you've got to understand and see what someone wants. And very seldom, I think you can ask any janitorial house out there, will you find someone that wants you to spend 4 hours when you can do it in two? But this was a different kind of organization that had people coming in every day to the same room every day. And she didn't like them seeing certain things. And these rooms were used in high capacity. She didn't want things left behind. She didn't want them seeing them. And she was willing to pay that price. Unusual, different, but that's what I guess we're trained or should be trained to see if they request it. Shame on me. But in the COVID reign of things, I think there we've got to be trained. People are watching us. People are watching you. You know, it's a different day into where you can even have your day people, if you've got day people working, where they can come out and wipe chair arms, and they can wipe tabletops, and they can wipe the door handles during the day. Used to people, that was sort of annoying to people, you know, you didn't do that. Now COVID has made it possible that you can actually go around and be, oh, their customers love it. You mean you're cleaning during the day? You're wiping the bathrooms? Oh, you're doing that? To them, that's a blessing. They like seeing that you're doing either extra cleaning or whatever disinfecting that you're doing during the day. That's a blessing to their customers, and that's a blessing to them. So there's a lot of added features you can bring to your cleaning that brings an added feature to you as a company that makes you look stronger. And I think the thing strongest to your company right now is that benefits any janitorial house right now is how strong you make your supervisors in the effort to clean smart, not harder, but smart, and training your staff. I think the better you train them, the longer you keep them. And anybody knows the longer you can keep someone, you're going to have better revenue. I mean, turnovers are always great in a janitorial house. That's just how it is. You always have turnovers. I think we've been very fortunate. We have about 125 regular employees. Um, we have more or less than that at times, but out of the 125 we have on a regular base, we've got about 30 to 35 of them we've kept over the last 20 years. That's a pretty big ratio. They want to clean toilets, and you know, that's something that we pride on, that they've stayed with us. But It's something that I think it's because of what we do in our training and in our upkeep. Um, I think something that BSCAI has put out there that if y'all don't know about, we trained, I think it was 10 at one time on the new um, COVID, the new COVID training they put out. It was a 3-hour course, and all my supervisors took it, and it was awesome. It was awesome, and it was surprisingly there was a couple of tricky, and it was sort of funny. I have a couple of tricky questions in there, and one of them almost got us. But it's fun to take. It's interesting. If you've been in the business, I've been in the business 35 years, whether the chemical side or the cleaning side. So when you take those tests, it's very interesting to see how much you really know. And it had a real tricky question there. Matter of fact, I'm probably going to ask how they got that answer because I still think the answer's wrong. You know how when you take those, you're like, how on earth did they get that as being right? So anyway, they had a good time. They took it, and everybody took their own test, and they got their certificate. And to some of our clients, I sent the certified certificate showing them that they were COVID-19 certified. And I thought that was very impressive. So, and I believe that BSCAI put that out on the web to take that test. So I think there's lots of things that you can add to what you're doing right now to make you a stronger company, a smarter company, and help your supervisors grow so that they can help your people grow and want to stay with you. You know, and I don't know what other companies do on their training, their OSHA, and you know, it's hard when you're working and trying to keep people out there in that field like we are and busy, and they only have 3 hours or this many hours to clean a building. You try to pull them together to do an OSHA training or brief them on certain things. That's hard to pull them out of the field to do that. We do try to do it every 3 months. If it's a 5 minutes or 10 minutes, we might do it on back training, you know, how to pick up a box just to get them together. Their supervisor might take pizza over there and all eat pizza and just speak to them real quick about, hey, have y'all all know where the SDS book is, right? Because, you know, there's turnovers. So he might bring that up. We always try to at least let them know we care. And when we do anything, whether it's pizza or they're bringing something out there, they're having to do something different, we always try to bring up a safety measure so that at some point or sometime they always know that they are on their mind of what they're doing. You know, y'all, you know, remind them we always want them to empty that mop water. How many times we went by and the mop water wasn't emptied? So we always try to bring up something that hopefully helps keep their closets cleaner, their self safer, whatever we can do. We do not let our day maids or day people mop bathrooms, anything during the day, unless it is a must because of the slip and falls. I mean, if we get someone call us because it's a real bad mess or something, they mop it, they put all sorts of stuff up to keep people from walking in that room because there's such a liability of people slipping and falling. So throughout the day, they might clean 10 bathrooms, but as far as sweeping and mopping it, we don't do it. Not unless we get a request. And I know that sounds weird, but we've just had too many slip and falls. And it hadn't been on us. It's usually on our client that takes the heat for it because we always put out, wet floor signs. But it's been a crazy deal. And most of our customers have said, unless you have to, don't make a wet floor. We don't want wet floors during the day. So I think that's just an ongoing thing with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And if anybody has any ideas how to beat that, we'd love to know. I have a grocery store chain that put carpet in because of it. In their stores, they have carpet because of all their slip and falls. But when you have, you know, $45,000 is your average cost with a slip and fall without a lawyer, then what do? You know, that's just pretty typical.
Yeah. You have to people proof it.
Yeah.
Because they're yeah. You have the wet floor sign, but they think they're not going to be the person to slip and fall. So
well, and we do. Anytime that happens, we get a call on da da da. We always get the maintenance person that's on that floor or on that comp area, and we'll go up there. And 99% of the time, the funny thing is they'll go up there and they'll we hadn't even sleep. We hadn't even been in there. It wasn't even a swept and mop floor, and there's no water. There's nothing, So
Just some
we always
info.
get this. Yeah, we always get the stuff to back us and what it takes. But it's annoying that even happens, but it does, and it's just part of this game, unfortunately. But I don't know. I don't have all the answers.
Mhm.
Um, I do think that you know that every year, I think making our staff smarter has definitely helped. Our staff used to not know what to do. They used to not, every year our staff gets smarter. Every year we give them more ammunition of what to do. And every year, and I don't think it's the products. I don't think it's, we basically use the same stuff we've used for 25 years. I think it's the way we do things. I think it's the, what we teach them. I think it's how they do it, how they handle themselves, and the confidence we give them. If that is the one thing that your supervisor, you as a person, what you tell them and what you say to them can put them on that confidence level that they need. Because so many of our people come from so many places that they never knew they could mount to anything, is how they feel. And so that little bit of feeling like, wow, I'm over this little area, and that guy that just walked out of this room is going to back me. They're going to tell them that I'm right. And I think that means a lot to them.
Mm.
And we try to let all our people know that we're there for them. And, this is what we need them to do. And we do it this way and we're fine.
So I have a question in regards to the way you do things now. Has that been a change that you've made more recently? Is that something that you've done longer term?
No, we had a big meeting with one of our biggest customers and they wanted to change the scope of work. Okay. And they were, it was a really, it's a strange deal for us because they come to us wanting to change the scope of work to smaller. And here's the middle of COVID, and we're like, smaller. What are you talking about? Most people want to lay it on us. And here they were wanting to cut out some of the scope of work. And we were like, cut out some of the scope because we spoil people. We're the company that goes the extra step. Our floors look like glass. And if they don't, we make them look like glass. And that's just how we've known to be and are to be. So we had to restructure in order to, we don't want to upset anybody. And we still want to be known as professional maintenance wherever we're at. No matter what we do, we want our work to be outstanding. And when you have a customer come to you and say, yeah, your work's outstanding, but we want you to layer back. Okay. And layer back meaning they don't want to pay us as much either.
Yeah, budget thing.
So, right. They want to cut budget. Well, cutting budget, we don't want to make us look bad. Now they're going to tell their people that they're changing their scope of work, but who's going to take that look? We are. So what if they're telling their people they're going to change the scope of work? We're still going to take the cut of what it's going to look like, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, so we had to get with our supervisors, and that's where I took this approach. I said, guys, they're going to go and they're going to tell all their people they're cutting the scope of work, and they're going to give them a list of the scope of work. But I looked at that scope of work, and when they're telling them, oh, we're only going to dust on every other week, and we're only going to do this every other week, that to me, that's bull. That's just bull at making it. To me, that's not going to. Their customers are going to think, oh, it's still going to look good. They can do that every day. See what I'm saying? They didn't take away enough stuff to, and that's why I was telling my staff, we still got to do it. We still got to do it because what they took away is BS to me. And that's how I looked at it. That building still got to look good or it's going to look bad on us. Mm-hmm. Because like they didn't say, they said we usually strip and wax daily on most of our buildings. If they need it, we do it. Was our deal. And they want us to do it twice a year. Okay. Well, we'll probably stick to their protocol on floors, but we'll buff when we need to and just try to keep them best we can. But their dusting concept and stuff like that, we're going to have to do. We live in West Texas. So what I've told my staff is I want them to do it more in a daily manner. Do it as they go, see what they see and do it. Don't get us caught up that we have a three in the end of the month, we've all of a sudden got to go take a 6-man team over there and spring clean a room because we haven't been doing it daily. Because we cut down. Because to me, it's no harder to do it when you walk by than it is to do it on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And so that's why we sort of changed the method of cleaning. They did change they took about 5 or 6 things, a scope of work out, and tried to put them in a Tuesday and a Thursday method. And that's not, we can't do that. I mean, there's no way that would save us time. And so, yeah, it was the scope of, and we just did this recently. And you know what? It's worked. I thought we'd have lots of complaints. I really did. And I'm amazed. Now, the company did send out letters to their customers, you might say, or their employees or their locations, telling them that they're making changes. And they've known us for 20 years. That's how long we've been doing this account.
Wow.
And so the account knows us very well too. And if they want special things, they can ask this is a very new property management team that took it over. So they know us more than they know the property management team. And if they want special things done, they can ask the property management team and see if they can get it done. So we're only 4 months into it, 5 months with them. I lied to you. We're in 8 months into it, 9. With the changes, we're about 6 months into it. And so we'll see. I don't know. They haven't griped. I told them I'm shocked. Now they've made some drastic changes in the last 4 months where they've taken 5-day cleaning buildings to 3-day. So, but we'll see. We've done well. We clean them well. So hopefully that our cleaning will stay as well as we do and won't interrupt that. A lot of that was caused because of COVID. Mm-hmm. And a lot of that, they went home and worked some of the days. So maybe that helped. But I've heard that, BSC and some of their town meetings and stuff, we talked that, yeah, that worked for a while, but a lot of them are coming back. So there again, is that going to work? That's still yet to see. So I think everybody's playing with it. And will it work? Maybe. Will it not work? Maybe. But I think we're here to stay regardless. And if they say they don't want it, it will change. So my thinking in this is do what they want, do it to the best of our ability, and we will be here to pick up the pieces no matter what happens, as long as we do what they asked. And that's what I pretty much told my supervisors. We're going to do their scope of work. We're going to do like they say. We're going to benefit from it because we're going to do exactly what they say and cut that down, cut that back, but clean to the best of our ability by cleaning smarter. And then if it has to go back to full cleaning like they want it and need it if they want it, then we will take it back to full scope. That makes sense?
Yeah, no, it's very interesting too, just because it has been such a weird situation with COVID. So many more businesses need, especially now that people are shifting, like you said, back to the office space and people are in that space, it needs cleaned again, but the budgets are just as tight as when everybody was at home. So they're like, well, we want it clean, but we don't, like you said, we don't want to pay for it.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting. Now, as far as your team, when you started to do this, naturally, there's usually a aversion to change. So when you're saying clean as you go, sometimes that can be like, well, that's more work in the moment. So what was the response from your team and how did you carry people along with this new way of doing things?
I was very, very fortunate. I have 3 of the best supervisors in the world. James Duran being one of them. He's been with us 25 years and he's the leader of the pack. And I guess I can say his people would bow down and kiss his feet. And I don't know why. And he has such a way of making these people just do what he asked. And I guess the biggest deal he made to them, and he got his other supervisors doing the same thing, is one thing Bobby Pierce, Robert Pierce, who owns the company, through COVID, and even though we had people go 3 days a week and we had buildings shut down for a while, they all came back. We didn't lose one person. Bobby kept everybody employed. He did not let one person go unemployed. He put other people in 2 buildings, even though we didn't need them. He put doubled up buildings. He doubled up labor. He did not let one person go. And I think that meant a lot to his staff. And that's the kind of man Bobby is. But I think in doing that, and they knew that, and I think in doing that, when James went to his people, the one thing he told them is what we were doing and why we were having to do it is because of what the customer was requesting and the scope of work they were asking us to do. That this was not our doing. We didn't want to do it. This was coming from the customer. And the only thing we are trying to do is to keep their jobs. That's it. We don't want to do it. We have no choice but to do it. And that we are trying to make it the easiest way we can. And by doing it smarter, that it's going to keep them from coming back and having to spend a weekend doing dust bunnies or whatever we missed because we didn't do them going the first time. And that this is a trial basis, that we're not the smartest people in the world, but we know how good they are. And that we think if we do it this way, we won't have to come back and do good old deep cleaning the old days because we miss everything. And I think when he put it to them that way, I always try to make it's on their shoulders of how good they are is why we select it. And that's what he did. And he's very good at it. And like we told him, we're trying to keep everybody's job. And instead of cutting a whole hour out of the job, we're cutting, half an hour and not cutting anybody and still keeping everybody in their jobs. And that's hard when a company comes in and cuts hours. When you cut, dadgum, 900 hours, that's a lot of hours.
Yeah, and they never blame the situation. They never feel it's the situation. They always feel it's the company.
Yeah,
It's their boss that did it.
right. And we let them know. And for just him keeping the COVID, and a lot of them got that. Not that we're the best people in the world, but we had because we're mom and pop. We're very little. And we had a little girl, a young lady that had cancer. And for 8 months, she was out. And we paid her for 8 months. And that was hard, And Thanksgiving and Christmas and stuff come around. And, me and the supervisor and all of us bought her lunch. Her dinner, her Thanksgiving, Christmas. We're that kind of company. And so when we do get stuff like this, we all pitch in to try. Now, to do the best we can do with what we're dealing. And I do think that's why God blesses us. I do think that's why we get where we get and the things happen, because even this deal, 900 hours to cut out of a contract is a lot of hours. And when we sat down and tried to do that, I really thought there was no way we were going to do it. But we did it and we kept everybody employed. So was it fun? No. But everybody's employed. We've got, and after we looked at it, it was like, this is the nice thing about it. We're not doing the extra things we used to do. And it seems like every day I get a call. Kathy, we need this floor done. Okay, $250. Kathy, we need this. Okay, $350. Kathy, we need, okay, $500. What does that tell you? Who knows where this is going to go? Mm-hmm. Because we used to do it all for free. So things happen for a reason. And when we looked at it, we took it. Maybe we were the company that were doing things for free and needed to be the company that was doing things like in the way it needed to be done. We're a partnership company. We like to get with people and partner with them and go from there. And we, in that partnership, hey, will you do this room for us? Sure, we will. That's not always the smartest way to do business. Mm-hmm. And I think most janitor houses talking about it will tell you that. They want to go in and say, okay, this will be $350 or this will be whatever. And that's what you need to do. That's how you make your money.
Mhm.
But this was a big company that we have had for 20 years, and we had always kept them as a good partner and done a lot of stuff with them. And they've gone out to where they've been bought out by another company, and things change. And that's what's happened. So when things change and you go forth. And I think we've made some smart moves. And I think there were moves that needed to be done. I think this needed to be done. And I think this will make us a better company. And it's definitely made my leaders better leaders. So, and I appreciate what BSCAI did on that COVID-19. I think that woke people up. Other companies, it's not just them we have. We've got quite a bit of other customers, and they love the fact that and we do, 89% of our work is medical. So my supervisors having the COVID-19 testing certificate was awesome. And I appreciate them putting that test out there.
Mm.
That was a very, very nice feature to have that.
It's good to see so much positivity come out, like this ability to keep up with the testing and the embracement of the situation with your supervisors and your team, that priority is still set on the employee and the job that you're doing rather than just pushing out the work and just making the customer happy. Like you're actually looking at the full picture, and it sounds like it's so well received.
Yeah, yeah, and it is, and that's what's happening. We've we joke, we laugh, and I've had none of my employees have caught COVID from their job. I've had two catch it from their family, but none of them have caught it from their job. So that's a pretty good ratio. Here in Lubbock, we're I don't know. It seems weird to me, and I don't know what's going on with COVID, but I live here, and every time I turn around, there's 253 or 250. I don't know a soul. I've lived here all my life. I've got a big family. I got a big work atmosphere, church, and I don't know a soul that has COVID. So it's sort of like, who has it? That's how, I'm going, who has it? But I don't
At
know.
Yeah, at first when I know like New York and some of the bigger cities were struggling so much with it back in like that March and April timeframe, I didn't know anybody because everybody locked in so tight. And we're up in Toledo, it's a little bit smaller, so it hadn't quite reached us. But now I think my cousin and her family have had it. Our neighbors have had it, and we're starting to hear more people. And fortunately, they all like quarantined quick and did all the testing and went through all the steps so that when they were ready to come back and where it was safe too, it was like, okay, everybody's safe again. But it was interesting because at first I didn't know anybody, but I think it's because we locked down so quickly and we kept it from getting close. Then now it's like, well, our neighbors, their daughter's in college now. Um, and their son, he's graduated, but he actually just moved. So when they got it, like the whole family got it, and they're like, "Nope, we are in. We are, sticking to ourselves." They would barely come outside except for to take the dog out. Um, it's so crazy because I think some places, like if you were in New York, it was so obvious because they were so impacted, and then other areas like ours, we saw the shutdown side, but we didn't see as much of like our hospitals were extremely underwhelmed. So.
Yeah, I guess we were fortunate because, Texas Tech came back to school, and it seemed like we had 300, 400, 500, but we never saw it. It was
Mhm.
just the students. So we
Yeah.
really actually never saw it. But, we do IPP spraying. So, and it's been very well. I started our electrostatic spraying in January. So I was starting to do it before COVID hit. I had talked Bobby into opening a program, and it was really pretty cool. And so I started opening the program, and we were start spraying. Now we get calls all day long. We have a COVID positive. We all come and spray our building. We have a COVID positive with people that aren't even customers. So it's worked out very well. We just
Mm.
go spray a building, and sometimes we get their cleaning business, and sometimes we don't.
Hmm.
But either way, we'll go spray their building. So that has worked out real well. It's been a nice little, it never was to replace our cleaning business ever. It was just an add on. And so it's worked really well through these last few months, especially. People have really been calling us. Um, I don't go out, like, I don't go to schools. I don't try to sell it as a, it's just a division of PM, is what it is, just an added division. But people, all our customers, they'll call us if they have a positive case and, hey, can y'all come and spray tonight? Sure, we'll be there. So it's worked very well.
Yeah.
That was a very good add-on.
Yeah. Right in time too, making it accessible
Yeah.
enough.
And it was
So
funny. That was sort of weird because we talked about it in November and I put it all together. And then I finally got it in January and I went with a Clorox system and they did a recall in February and didn't get my machine back to me. I was like aggravated. And then it was just crazy. I was like, what timing is this? So worked very well. Has
yeah.
kept us busy. But like I said, I think that you got to have a positive with this. With it
Mhm.
being so negative, I think the key is being positive and keeping your people positive. And I'll live to this till I die. The number one thing you can do for your company and keep them that way is enthusiasm. I don't think there's anything more contagious than enthusiasm. So, regardless of what's going on out in that world, or regardless of what's going on in your world, if you can bring that when you go into that office and you can electrify people with that enthusiasm, it's just contagious. They'll forget about what's going on anywhere else. And that's what I try to do. That's what I try to bring to the table.
It's a great approach. All right, so I think this is the perfect place to wrap up, Kathy. So I'm going to go ahead and close out. Did you have anything else that you wanted to add before we end?
No, but thank you very much for letting me participate. I hope it helps. I'd love to hear what other people are doing and how they're handling the COVID with people wanting to budget down and what they're doing and how they're doing it.
All right, thank you. So like Kathy said,
Okay.
if you want to jump in once we have this episode live, you're always welcome to jump in on any of our pages or shoot us over a message so that we can discuss with you how you're handling the COVID budget cuts, but the need for more work. All right. So that is this episode of the Business of Cleaning podcast. We'll see you next week for our next episode. But in the meantime, please make sure that you follow and leave us a review. And we'll also put everything we just talked about up in a nice little blog post so you can read through it if you'd like. Thank you and have a great rest of your day.